the deepest condolences to to the Rowe family and all of UConn, UConn Nation and the UConn family. Coach Rowe is obviously a beautiful man, and men like him, people like him, especially in this world today, they're certainly missed. So just a great human being, and feel fortunate that I got a couple of years with him.
Okay, let's start the game preview. Dave, you want to start?
Good. Did you know Dee at all before you got here? And if not, what did you learn about him or more about him since when you got here? Just as a person, and how he, what kind of wisdom and advice he may have given you since you got to UConn?
Yeah, I didn't. Coach. The advice strategically, he begged me to play zone, more zone. He pitched zone to me several times, Coach. So, but my dad, coming from basketball family, and having been a high school coach, and Coach having accomplished what he did at Worcester Academy, and becoming the head coach at UConn from there. My dad talked about him, from time to time. And then obviously, again, just the last couple of years, Coach would just, anytime we practiced in Gamble, he'd be up there, sitting 15, 16 rows up, and practice would end, and I'd go up there and we'd listen to him tell stories, about, Coach Calhoun, Gino, just, his career. He just, and then he was just always so positive, and especially those first two, those first 2 years, just would always say something encouraging, uplifting, because he knew, he knew, that we weren't winning and it was tough.
Gavin?
I feel kind of strange talking basketball, but what are some of the challenges with the quick turnaround coming, playing a game so quickly after Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, after after not being able to leave, stores, we've played, we feel like we've been on the road for a while, because we're not trained, so, I would just say, just playing three in a row on the road, it's been, emotional. The Marquette game was emotional win. Losing James, getting a Cook back, and winning yesterday, and then obviously the news on Coach Rowe today, and then just a one-day turnaround. Just we've got to get that level of of passion and energy, firing, because that's the type of team we are. We've got to play with that pop. So I'll have these guys ready by tomorrow night.
Neil?
And then what is Book's status, and was he able to do anything today? Maybe a little better than he was the other night?
Yeah, he was he was in and around. We didn't go live, so everybody was shooting and doing some scout stuff. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see how he feels tomorrow, and he'll just remain game time until further notice.
Tom?
Dan, there's probably a good chance that by the time you take the court tomorrow, UConn could be back in the top 25 for the first time in about 5 years. And then, in fact, I think it was the loss to Wagner that knocked them out, and they haven't been back since. How much do you care about that, even if it's only a symbolic thing, as a maybe a signpost or a milepost that the program is kind of back close to where it was.
Yeah, I mean, whether we're ranked, or not in any of the polls, which, it's obviously it's validation. I think it's important for the brand. It's, it'd be, just in terms of, the rebuild and where we're at. But I think, just based on, the way we've played through the 7 games minus the last 12 seconds of the, Creighton game, we should be on a, 12-game program winning streak. We won the last 5 last year, and, we'd have 7 in a row this year. So, we feel like we have the makings of a really good team. And a couple of years ago, we were, the program was at like the mid-major, minus level. And a couple of years later, we've got, an exciting, talented team that's potentially top 25, and we're in the Big East. So, just a couple of years later, things are exciting.
Charlotte?
Hey, Dan, my condolences again. But you mentioned the shoot around. What have you guys, I guess, what is the last 48 hours between the end of the Butler game and the DePaul one tomorrow kind of looked like, or going to look like, especially in this COVID world for a road trip?
Yeah. So we got on a bus because it was a little bit quicker, and got into Chicago last night. And then, we got in and did a light practice this morning. We'll do, a couple different video things today with them. And then, get up tomorrow. We'll shoot around again in the morning, and then, we'll play the game. And, it's obviously there's not a lot going on here in the city of Chicago. It's kind of, strangely not a lot of people on the street. So, but we've got, just another day and a half left of the business trip, and we've got to do a great job tomorrow.
Wayne, Norman?
Dan, just talk about DePaul and how they're playing right now, and is it different from when you saw them, when you beat them?
Yeah, no, they're, really quick, really athletic, Charlie Moore and Freeman Liberty, are 2, tremendous guards that can score at a couple different levels. Weems is a, tough matchup at the 4. I love their young, big, talented guy, but it's, Dave's been in a brutal position, with the COVID stops and starts, and having only played 4 games. It was weird kind of getting ready for their game because there was only 1 game to watch and then our game, So the prep was going to be relatively easy for both of us because we just played.
Dan, Barletta?
Hey, Coach. Yeah, obviously, you got a Cook back yesterday, which is great, but he only played 6 minutes. Do you kind of expect to increase his minutes right away, or is that going to be a much more gradual increase?
Yeah, I think it'll be incremental. He's got just so much joy, and he's, it's just his personality today. He's just so happy to be back a part of it on game night. So, we'll be able to build him up. But again, being thrown into Big East Conference games on your return from that injury, that's a tough thing. But what an incredible job he did. Put himself in this position less than a year. Wow.
Roger, Cleveland?
What is it that a Cook can bring to you once you do get him up to speed? How does he change things for the team?
Like we're, I think we're playing, really good to great defense. The potential of adding him to the front court. in terms of the way that we play defense and, you know, trying to really take away the 3-point line and try to, you know, pressure people. You know, he fits in perfectly to, you know, what we do schematically. You know, and he's a, you know, really, really talented player. You know, he's one of those core building block guys that we brought in here to build this program around, you know, guys like him and Book. You know, so we obviously, we're going to need more than we got at Butler from him, you know, throughout the rest of the way.
Mike Crispino?
Hey, Dan. This team looks to be pulling together kind of like they did toward the end of last year under some adversity. Now you lose book night. Last year you were playing with 6 and 7 guys. Is that gratifying a little bit to you and the coaching staff to see that you can overcome some losses like this and still maintain your level?
Yeah, you know, definitely gratifying win. You know, just, you know, gratifying, you know, when you have, you know, a program that's trying to do it with, you know, with toughness and, you know, commitment to defense and, you know, celebrating the success of others and you know, it not having to be about you every night. And, you know, that's the type of program that you want to build. Obviously, you know, you want to have the talent and we have a talented roster and, you know, but, you know, when you win it and you show backbone and you know, and courage out there as a team, it's, you know, it's very gratifying.
Gavin?
And I think your bench has outscored your last 2 opponents like 63-13 or something like that. Obviously, Tyler coming off the bench helps, but what does that mean to you that when you can have a reliable bench, and how does that impact things?
Yeah, I mean, it's like it increases your chances of obviously of winning because, you know, if you play 6 or 7 guys, it's like a math thing. You know, it's if you play 9 or 10 guys, you know, a couple of guys aren't going to play well on a given night. It's just the nature of sports. So some guys are going to have an off night. The more bodies that you throw out on the court, you know, there's just more chances of having, you know, people that could play well potentially, you know, so, you know, now, you know, players have to accept that, you know, and accept some fluctuation in minutes on a given night. And maybe you're not asked to carry as big a scoring load or, you know, so you need unselfish people that are about winning, but, and then, you know, the obvious things like depth, you know, just wearing opponents down, you know, physically, being able to keep a team potentially fresh over the course of a long season too. So foul trouble, you know, you can handle injuries, obviously. You could still, you know, hopefully win enough.
Mike Mavrodakis?
Hey, Dan. After yesterday's game, you had praised Brendan Adams, his performance, specifically his defensive performance. What kind of performance do you expect from him tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we need more of the same. You know, he's, you know, timely shot making, you know, just like veteran toughness, being in the right spots. Tomorrow in particular, it's going to be guarding the ball well, guarding dribble penetration at the point of attack. And you know, but just being, you know, carrying himself like he understands, you know, why you win and why you lose. And the guys that have been here with us for a couple of years now that have seen the winning and seen the losing, they have to lead the way that way. You know, guys like him and Tyler and Isaiah and Josh.
Charlotte?
Just a quick follow-up on health stuff. Is there anyone else who's might not be good to go tomorrow with the back-to-back, or is everyone doing pretty well?
Yeah, we had a couple guys that were nicked up with ankles, but you know, for the most part, everyone looked real lively today.
Anything else, guys? Anything from the TV guys? Adam Alexander or Nick?
I just wanted to confirm real quick, Coach, on your travels, did you stay on the road? Wanted to confirm after Marquette, or did you guys do Marquette, go home, and then come back for this swing from Butler to Chicago?
We went, yeah, Adam, we went back for like a day and a half, and then we got back out here on Friday.
Okay.
And Coach, we know about Tyler Pauli making shots, but beyond him making shots, how has he impacted the game, maybe defensive, offensive standpoint? What have you seen in that regard?
Yeah, just Nick, from just length defensively. When we go smaller away from Whaley at the 4 and play more like 4 perimeter, it gives you a 6'8" guy that with that length that where he could guard a 4, especially if you have him out there with Tyrese Martin, who's really, really physical at 6'6", almost 6'7". So, either one of those guys can guard big wings or 4 men. We need him to help us more on the glass, Tyler. That 0 rebound game is not, one that will go undiscussed, not talked about, but yeah, he just gives us a lot of lineup flexibility, in terms of you play him at big guard with 2 bigs or as a small ball 4 offensively, it's a real weapon.
And with winning a game without Book Night, where did you see either a player or an area of the game grow? Like, was there one aspect that you felt like, man, we took a big step here without Book Night, because that's obviously your top dog not going?
Yeah, I think I think the ball. These guys understood that the ball needed to move, move better. That we needed to, screen better, and probably let less ball screen. Less ball screen, more, more staggers, more flares, more, pass and get, just more other types of things. But I think mostly just understand they've got to kind of generate offense through our actions for each other and for themselves.
Gotcha. And last one for me, as you guys, obviously it's with how disjointed things have been. I think the other night, what it had been, you played 2 games in 27 days or whatever it was. As you play more and you get a better rhythm, where do you think that shows up the most? Is it finding better chemistry offensively? Is it figuring out, hey, this is the standard defensively? Where do you think that reveals itself the most?
Yeah, an easy answer always. Defensive connectedness, though, huge improvement that way. Like trust offensively. Like a feel for where each other, where these guys are. We returned a number of guys from last year's team that have played together, but we have a new point guard. And RJ Cole, who has never played with these guys in game situations. He's still trying to get a feel for, where people cut, how they cut, where they like the ball. Obviously we've got a new, freshman big, there are some, Tyrese Martin getting adjusted to, Big East basketball at this level, as well as, these new guys. So, we returned a number of guys, but we do have some like new critical pieces that, still have to blend.
Coach, one follow-up. Some of your older guys, the veterans that you lean on, have not enjoyed great success. Have you seen a turning point with them where the mindset shifted to not only they're your leaders, but they expect to win some of these games now that they're winning on a regular basis?
Yeah, I think, the kind of the rallying cry for the group before the season was, we've learned how to win last year, the way we ended things. And we felt like we had a chance to win the conference tournament last year. We were red hot going in. And so the whole thing in our preseason, in the COVID preseason was, no one on this team's ever been to the NCAA tournament, we've got to strive, for that. And to do that, you've got to be, well-rounded team. Last year we were, in terms of like efficiency, we were somewhere in the top 50 range, like offense, defense splits. And in order to be a tournament team, you got to be more like top 30. So, we've just been real detail oriented, with the group and real, just really as coaches tried to define everyone's role so that, everyone understood what we needed.
Last thing for me, Coach, is when you talk about the NCAA tournament, in the past, you always had a good feel for here's our strength of schedule in the non-conference and where we set up once we get into league play. And you always knew, obviously, you could win the conference tournament and get in. Given the uncertainty and the postponements and all the things you deal with this year and the unknowns, how do you manage that and gauge that? And how much of that do you talk to the team about?
Yeah, I think we try to compartmentalize really and shape each game, with its own narrative and really try to lock in and we practice so, intensely, and I think we're really diligent with our preparation. So I don't think that there's a lot of bandwidth for our guys and our staff to go down the rabbit's hole of like the metrics and stuff. We just, Joe Lenardi or bracketology. It's like, we just got to win the next game. We do talk about, if you want to stay at the tippy top of a conference like this, this next game is critical, because, the best teams in this league are tremendous teams. So if you want to try to keep pace with that group and play in those types of big games, I'm confident that we're going to have a good season, hopefully a really good season. But if we want to do better than really good, then, we got to win a lot.